Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to GEEXX Reads. Today I want to talk about the book Heat Wave by Richard Castle, an image of which you will see here. If anyone finds the name Richard Castle familiar, it's because it's the name of the titular character from the TV show Castle. The premise of the TV show is that Richard Castle works with the New York City Police detective unit to solve murders. More backstory of the TV show. Richard Castle is a mystery writer, famous mystery writer, and successful, who, in the pilot episode, there's a killer who is doing copycat crimes of the murders from his books. The New York City Police Department brings him in as a to consult with the detectives on the case to help solve the murders, which he does. He then gets himself assigned to the detective unit, the homicide unit, as inspiration for his future novels. He's got an idea to write a new series of novels. He wants inside police knowledge and gets himself, attached to their unit as a consultant, which the detective unit, the detectives on the unit do not particularly care for, especially the lead of the unit, Kate Beckett, who is a very no-nonsense police officer. The other two guys on our team appreciate it a bit more because Castle's famous and wealthy and brings his espresso, buys them an espresso. He buys them an espresso machine. But, Castle's kind of an obnoxious, arrogant, somewhat arrogant, well-meaning. He's not mean or cruel. He's just kind of full of himself and kind of a goofball. I did like the show a great deal. My daughter was a huge fan of it. This is actually her book. But in season 2 or 3, Castle released the novel he had written based on his interactions with the New York Homicide Department. And someone actually wrote the book, which amused me to no end. So when my daughter had this book, it's like, they really, really made a book. I gotta read it now. The book is written as though it was written by Richard Castle, the character in the TV show. It basically follows the premise of the TV show, although it's slightly different. The character who is working with the police department is not a novelist. He is a reporter who is basically following them around to initially write up a story about the police department. There was also more romantic tension between the journalist and the police detective, Nikki Heat, hence the title name Heat Wave. But it reads just like the show. It really does. This reads as though it was written by Richard Castle. It has the same attitude. Did they say who wrote this? Who actually wrote it? Let me look. I should have looked. No, doesn't say here. Although it does. The dedication is to all my extraordinary, to the extraordinary KB, Kate Beckett, and all my friends of the 12th Precinct. So it has a dedication to the character in the TV show. This is hilarious. There's even an interview in the back, like from the book publishing company to Richard Castle. The premise of the book is that Nikki Heat, homicide detective for the 12th Precinct, gets saddled with a reporter, and they're investigating the death of a real estate millionaire who initially appears to have fallen to his death from his penthouse apartment. So, and it kind of goes on from there, but it reads exactly like an episode of the TV show. Just a bit more over the top, it's written with Castle's voice. and they did a good job. I think that's what impressed me the most and made me enjoy it as much as I did. Um, it's a standard dime store mystery novel. It's 200 pages long. It's very thin. The extra pages are the first chapter in the second book in the series, which I admit I haven't. I think I wrote like 6 books. There are 6 Nikki Heat books that someone wrote for the show. I have not read any of the other ones, but this is great. This is was so much fun to read. It's a written version of the TV show. You can see the characters in here, which are based on the characters from the TV show. I just can't I can't express how much fun it was. And I think part of it was because of the meta, the fact that it's kind of a joke within a joke kind of thing. I think that made me appreciate it more and made me enjoy it more. Is that it was, the kind of in humor stuff that I can infer from reading the book and kind of like telling where he's basing it off real events versus where he's kind of embellishing. A lot of the embellishment is the romantic tension between James Rook and Nikki Heat. James Rook being a play on words for Richard Castle. In chess, the rook is another name for the castle. So there's that there too. There's just so much little nods to the TV show, and I don't know who the actual author is, but you can probably find it on Wikipedia for the show. But if you like the TV show Castle, and I admit I liked most of it, the last couple seasons kind of fell off for me. I did like the first like 4 or 5 seasons. I think I really enjoyed it. I think when they actually had the romance in the TV show, it kind of killed it for me. But yeah, this reads like season 1 or 2 of Castle, and it's if you like the show like I did, it is a really fun, campy thing to read. So for me, definitely like an A material, even though it's not a great book. It's just fun because of why it exists and how it exists. So, as always, thanks for watching. As always, this stuff is crap. And until next time, good hunting.